to the dead centre of Whitechapel. I'm standing at the feet of Mary Ann Nichols, a lovely lady who's had a major accident with a steak and kidney pie. The first victim of Jack the Ripper, discovered on the 31st of August 1888 in Bucks Row, Whitechapel, at 3:45 in the morning by two workmen off to do their morning shift. When they find her, they assume in the darkness she's drunk, so they summon a policeman, who under the glare of his lantern ascertains that she's actually quite dead. Her throat has been cut twice, once from the left ear to the centre, the other going right round to the right ear, which I think killed her. She has some other injuries as well. When she was taken to the mortuary later on, it was discovered she had a superficial cut up over her abdomen and across the left hip, and another cut went right up to her breastbone and forced out her intestines. Now, if you'd be good enough to look at the window up there, you'll see a mortuary photograph of her, one of the first photos ever taken of a murder victim. You may be surprised to learn that during her lifetime she was known by the nickname Pretty Polly. Pretty in spite of the fact she died 5 days after her 43rd birthday, had already given birth to 5 children, and had 5 of her front teeth missing. I think tastes change over the years. If you please allow me through, I have syphilis. Thank you. A little over a week later, on the 8th of September, Jack struck again in the backyard of 29 Hanbury Street, a popular meeting place for ladies of the night and their gentlemen callers. The victim this time was Mrs. Annie Chapman, there and there. At 47, the oldest of Jack's girlfriends, and at the time she died had fatal tuberculosis anyway. But I've looked over the body, and as a man of medicine, I can confirm it's not tuberculosis that's killed her. When found, her throat had been cut so deeply, her head was only held onto her body by the spine. It was said that Jack had tried to decapitate her, but couldn't quite hack through the bone. She's been disemboweled, a thing that Jack was wont to do on these occasions, with a blade at least 5 inches long and with one swipe. That's where the rumours that Jack could have been a medical man came about. Some of her organs are lying at her side, but others have been taken away, and we don't know where they've gone. Suffice it to say, she was found around breakfast time. Also, Jack has pulled out her intestines, and, not finding these the most flavoursome of sausages, has thrown them over her left shoulder and wrapped them round her neck as a nice autumn scarf to keep out the chill. The rest of September is quiet. The ladies of Whitechapel arm themselves with knives and guns to fight off Jack should he strike again, but for 3 weeks, nothing happens. Until tonight, the 30th of September. In Duffield Yard off Burner Street is found the body of Mrs. Elizabeth Stride. There she is. I'm sure you'll agree she was drop-dead gorgeous. She came from Sweden and was aged 44. During her lifetime, she was known as Long Lizzie on account of her considerable height. But after tonight, she'll be known as Lucky Lizzie, for this reason. At 1 o'clock in the morning, a man called Louis Deemshut is driving his horse and cart into Duffield Yard, when the horse shies away to the left, and there, on the right-hand side of the yard, is Lizzie Stride's body, which at first Deemshut mistakes for a pile of mud. Blood still gushing from the open wound in her neck, which has severed her jugular and windpipe, killing her instantly. Incidentally, Jack throttled all his victims before slashing them. He was such a considerate man. There are no other injuries to the body. Therefore, it is assumed that Jack has been disturbed in the very act of carrying out his handiwork, and has fled off into the night, in the foulest of moods, only to strike again 45 minutes later. About now, actually, in Mitre Square. And this time, the injuries are absolutely disgusting. So I think it only fair I spare you the grisly details. I'm not going to, though. Please come with me and hear all about it.
It is now 1:45 a.m., less than 1 hour since the discovery of Liz Stride's body. Here in Mitre Square, a policeman finds the corpse of Catherine Eddowes. Some of her internal organs are missing. A letter, allegedly from Jack the Ripper, and dated just days before, on the 25th of September, threatens to clip the lady's ears off, just for joy. The killer, it seems, has tried to do precisely that. On a nearby wall is written, "The Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing." A cryptic message left by the Ripper, or a piece of anti-Semitic graffiti. On the day of the Lord Mayor's show, the 9th of November, the Ripper strikes for the 5th time. Mary Jane Kelly rents a room here at 13 Willis Court. Sometime after 4 a.m., Elizabeth Prater, who lives in a room above Kelly's, hears a faint cry. Mary Kelly's cries have been ignored. 2 lumps of flesh have been set on the bedside table. The heart and kidneys have been removed. A doctor, Thomas Bond, is called in to examine the body. In his own words,
the whole of the surface of the abdomen and thighs was removed. The arms mutilated. Face hacked beyond recognition of the features. The tissues of the neck were severed all round down to the bone.
the slaughter of 5 prostitutes, all within a mile of each other, spreads fear and anger through Whitechapel. Everyone wants to know, who is Jack the Ripper? Not far from here, at the Whitechapel mortuary, Inspector Amberline and Dr. Llewellyn ponder the possibilities.
Time for you to decide who was, who is Jack the Ripper. But beware, for in this room, when we call up the images of our prime suspects, we may also call up the evil spirit of the Ripper himself from the fiery depths of hell. So, we begin. Now, there is no turning back. Is our killer the Polish barber George Chapman? Or John Pizer, the shoemaker known as Leather Apron? Or Aaron Kaminsky, who was actually identified as the killer? Did not Dr. Neil Cream claim, "I am Jack the," as he dropped to his death on the gallows? Many are saying that Richard Mansfield, an American actor, is the killer. Or could it be John Druitt, a failed barrister? Is there a royal connection? Prince Albert Victor, Duke of Clarence? Or is the Ripper none than Queen Victoria's physician, Sir William Garr? Wait, there is an evil presence drawing nearer, growing stronger. But we must go on. New evidence shows that Dr. Francis Carty, an American, is the killer. He escaped police custody and fled back to America. In Whitechapel, the killings ceased. In America, they began again. Coincidence? Surely not. Or is this the face of Jack the Ripper? This is James Maybrick, a Liverpool cotton merchant. He has admitted in his diaries and a letter addressed from hell that he is the killer. Still, be still. There is a cold, evil presence here in this room. It draws nearer, nearer. Now, he is here.